Welcome everybody from Sparx Systems YouTube channel. It's great to have you join us today. As usual, we're having a look at our urban parking system repository that has been designed and built in Enterprise Architect. And today we're going to have a look at finding helpful tools and windows that assist you with modeling in Enterprise Architect. So welcome Stephen, it's great to have you here with us today. What are some of the helpful tools and windows that we can use in modeling in Enterprise Architect?
Thank you for the introduction, Scott. And always a pleasure to be here. Yes, we've been recording these videos for some time, and it's occurred to me that we've been skipping over how to access particular windows and tools. And one forgets when you've been using the tool as long as I have, just how sometimes it might be a little bit unfamiliar to newcomers. So let's have a look at some things that can get us started. One of the things that comes across my desk quite regularly is, Stephen, can you help me? I've lost my toolbox and I don't seem to be able to get it back again. So let's just emulate that little situation as a kind of an entree or a segue into this topic. So normally I go and set my perspective from these videos, but we're going to leave that alone for the moment because we're going to be talking about things more generally. So let's emulate the loss of the toolbox. So say we were on a diagram and we had a particular diagram open. We can go to, say, structural models here, and let's go to this class model, and we can open that diagram. So what if I lost my toolbox? It's gone now. The toolbox in particular is a little unusual because I can get it back with this little chevron icon here and bring it back again. But say that I didn't know about that. From the start ribbon, and the first panel that appears is the All Windows panel. So we talk about these different panels, All Windows, Explore, Appearance on the ribbons, and we've got a number of icons here. And let's have a look at the first one, Design. Now what this does is it brings up a very convenient and helpful list of a number of windows and tools that are useful for designing, including grouped into Explore and Create tools and Diagram. And now if we look over at the Diagram one, we can see our friend the toolbox there. Simply clicking on that icon there will bring back the toolbox. So let's do that again for the Properties window. So I'm going to emulate closing the Properties window. I'll select an element in here. You can see the properties there, and the notes below it. But I'm going to emulate closing that Properties window altogether. Now there isn't a chevron here, the same as there is with a toolbox. That's a very convenient thing to hide the toolbox away, but we don't have one for the Properties window. But we're not lost because we know now that we can go to the All Windows panel of the Start ribbon, hit Design there, and we've got the Properties window there under Create. I can click that and Enterprise Architect puts it back into its default position. So
everything's sort of one or two clicks away.
Absolutely, Scott. And there's none of this business of, people trying to search all the ribbons for a particular window or tool. All of them are available there. There are some other things on the ribbons that you might need to access, obviously, but for the day-to-day, the bread and butter things of working with the tool, finding the windows that you want, they're all there. So look at that design. And again, you can see there are all sorts of things, properties, notes, windows there, summary, navigate, trace, focus. So let's have a look at this inspect one, for example. And this brings up the inspect window, which I like to think of it as an element browser with the parking meter selected there. I can go and look at all sorts of different attributes, operations, all sorts of different properties and other elements that are related to that. So let's move along a bit and look at the Properties window. I'll move back to my browser now, and I'll look at the Properties list. And so here we've got General, Element Features, Responsibilities, and more, which is a collection of extra things. But we've got Properties Dialog and Element Browser, talked about Parents and Interfaces, all sorts of things, features. So let's have a look at the Features window there, and you can see that's popped up here on the right-hand side, and he's giving me the information about the parking meter attributes. And then I can quickly move to other things like operations and interaction points or anything else that is available in those other panels of the feature window. So again, let's open that up again. There's lots of other things there, relations, responsibilities, requirements. So we can always get to a tool really, really quickly from this window. And, once it's open, you can start working with it. And if it's not a window that you want to keep open, for example, let's have a look at the relations window. That's listing all of the relationships that the parking meter's involved in. And, it can it can give me quite a lot of information. I can simply tear that off and drag it down here if I want to and put it underneath, so I can see with a bit more detail. And some of the things we've got, targets and things there. That's very useful. If I don't want the window, you don't need to be concerned that you won't find it again, because you just close it and you can simply just go back, open up that properties window again and hit relations, and it pops back into the location where you last left it. So Enterprise Architect is using that sort of memento pattern and remembering where these windows were. So another.
So you don't have to be concerned about closing down any of the dialogues or windows, because they come back in the same spot that you left them.
Yeah, and you might need them for a time. You might want to look at that, parking meter one there, or you might look at the motorist and see the relationships. That's kind of useful. I could do it from here as well if I wanted to. Look at the relationships here as well. So lots of different places, but the relationship window is quite a useful one, but you wouldn't want it open necessarily all the time. The collaborate icon gives us collaboration things. So if I look at this now and say, I want to look at a journal or look at the discussions and things, so I can look at discussions. Let's go back to our project browser. Let's click on the parking meter there, and we can see now that the discussion has opened up there, and we can see if I move this panel down, make a bit more room there, and we can see all of the history of that discussion. So this the user also states that, look at this. In the situation the motorist wants to extend their session before the expiry date, will their extension be added to this? So that goes on, get some answers to it. People have weighed in on the topic, but we can see all of that there. And so if we went, I think, to a particular package, we can see a journal on that as well. So we can see on the 2nd of February, investigated connecting to Azure Data Explorer via ODBC from Enterprise Architect. So lots of things in there, and we could have some reviews as well if there were reviews going for the particular topic. So that collaborate one is incredibly useful. We've got all of these things: journals, chats, mail, my diary. So we could look at mail, which is an internal mail. We've got
model mail. Yep.
Model mail, diaries. All sorts of things there. We've even got this model library, which is, another thing that people may not be aware of. And we've got, information in here. For example, the UML modeling best practice guide. And I can, move some of these windows over and have a look at that. I'll close my relationships window, like I said, and I've got, full view of that. So the other thing that it can help with, Scott, which, is a little bit of a bonus for people that aren't really familiar with Enterprise Architect, even if they've been using it for a little bit of time, being able to go to that start ribbon and the All Windows panel and just look at some of the options that are there. You may discover things about the tool that you didn't realize were there. For example, that one that we mentioned about the fact that there's a diary, or the fact that it contains reviews, or there's a calendar and a glossary. So it is kind of a useful launching pad for exploration into the tool as well. And I encourage people to do that themselves. So a little bit of homework, if you like, to go and have a look at all the options here. But the take-home message, Scott, is these tools and windows are all at your fingertips. The other thing is that there are other places you can look at this, and I'll just quickly mention the portals window. So the portals window is over here on the right-hand side. I've got it turned on to be auto hide, so it pops away. So if I turn that off, it will just stay there, and I can look at the portals, and I can look at here, I can look at windows, and you can see that there's a similar list of windows there as well. Some different ones organized a little bit differently: traceability, relations, relationship matrix, collaboration there.
So if you click on those, does it open those windows?
Yeah, that's right, Scott. So if I look at that, if I say, let's have a look at the navigator, then you can see that that's going to open the navigator. If I look at the context browser, let's have a look at something else, the inspect one. You can see now that the inspect has opened up there as well. So just another way to access the same information, organized slightly differently, but it's it's always good to be able to reach these windows and tools very quickly. And in here, we have a lot of other options under the portals as well. So it wasn't just the windows. We've got all sorts of other things like recent places. So the current diagram is that one, but recent diagrams, these are all the diagrams that I've looked at recently. The value
chain. If you were
okay.
working on a diagram yesterday and you can't remember what it's called, you could just click there. Yeah.
Exactly right, Scott. So that one there, parking meter station tests, and yep. I can just get to that diagram. So again, take-home message, all of these things are at your fingertips, ready for you to get on and do the good work that you need to do, modeling your own systems.
Fantastic. Thanks, Stephen. As always, we encourage the audience, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. We love getting your feedback, and we like to see the likes on our pages and on our videos grow over time. So it's fantastic that you've joined us today. And it's great that you can interact with some of these videos. If you have a look at the Sparx Systems YouTube channel, there's hundreds and hundreds of videos that will cover all of your needs on various Sparx Systems products. And there's even some sessions from some of the recent user groups and global summits available, all for free. And that's always a great price. If you want to reach out to Stephen to learn more about some of these windows, his credentials are listed. His LinkedIn credentials are listed in the video description below, as well as the website. So, Stephen, thanks for showing us how easy it is to access some of those really important tools and windows. It's been great hearing from you.
Delighted to be here, Scott. And just remember, we've only just scratched the surface of the tool's capabilities.